Ми зараз знаходимося в Олімпії. Будемо відстоювати права наших дітей. Багато тут зібралося наших слав'ян. Йдемо побачимо.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gathered.
Новості Олімпії. Люди зібралися, будемо щось говорити будемо, але все, надіємося на Бога, але все, побіда за Богом. Співають пісні вже українські, русські. Єрусалим.
Feel free to that's a lean post for my husband. Where you guys from? All the way. All the way.
А мы будем делать, что нужно. Вы нам доверяете? Thank you. Now we have another sign. Business card. Everybody know unugod.org. Does anybody know that website? unugod.org. What day? We're not talking a date right now, but if you're planning to take them out, if this bill will pass, then we will organize the time when we will take all kids at the same time. Oh, wow. But for us to know how many of you with us on our side, we need to have you sign in that in the website unitednationundergod.org. Все слышали русские тоже? Кто вы имеете детей, то, пожалуйста, зайдите на веб-сайт. Она называется United Nation Under God. unugod.org. Там вы запишите своих детей, которых вы заберете со школы, если этот билл пройдет. Когда будем забирать со школы, мы вам дадим знать. Этот день будет одинаковый для всех. Но чтобы вы все помнили и всем рассказывали об этой веб-сайт, где вы сможете найти информацию, которая сегодня будет она совместна со всеми нами, которые здесь с нами работают. Мы все работаем вместе, как одна семья, и вместе с вами. Но чтобы сорганизоваться, поэтому у нас есть вот этот веб-сайт сегодня. Спасибо всем, что пришли. Thank you so much, everybody who came, and probably it's beginning time. But thank you so much for listening, and don't forget to sign up on unyogot.org. It's not only for the kids; it has another list for signing petition under against this bill. You will find out everything when you'll get in this website. Thank you. Если придет сюда, приедет сюда, и, конечно, чтобы он принял сердце деятельности, чтобы он не подписал этот закон. Для этого мы сюда пришли. Помолитесь по группам, сейчас пока ничего не видно. I'm sorry, American people, if you would like, I can talk to you too. I'm asking our Russian people who are concerned really and who want to say prayer. They can gather together by 5-10 people and say prayer.
Благословляем Кавернера, благословляем демократа, республиканца, нехай страх божественный почиє на каждой душе, Господь. Мы стоим против этого духа, Господь, сексуализации, який йде против наших семей, против наших детей, Господь. Да будет Твоя защита, Господь, над святыми Твоими, над жителями нашего штата, Отец. Разрушь дела дьявола, Отец, во имя Иисуса, Господь. Мы просим, повлияй на решение Гаврина, Господь. Вступися, Господь, мы просим Тебя. Це тяжела борьба, Господь, но віримо, що Ти побираєш за нас. Отець, Ти побираєш за нас, ангели Твої, ополчаються вокруг боящихся Тебе. Благослови тих, хто в дорозі сюди, і благослови цей івент, цей протест, де будуть услышані наші слова і наш голос во ім'я Ісуса. Аллилуйя. Аллилуйя. Аллилуйя.
We want to contrast this curriculum with children and so following the funny looks scary. We just want to take the one white flower in at a time into his office. We'll have a basket to drop it in so he can see how many people actually showed up here today to protest this bill. Okay, and I'll repeat those directions again, but as many times as you hear it, then it'll start it here right at noon.
Я его не знала, это email адрес.
There you go.
This video.
Oh, it's video.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, ladies. I hope you can hear me. I'm trying to speak as loudly as I can. Thank you all for coming today. I said before, we thought maybe 50 people were going to show up with the sit-out that was planned and the coronavirus, and I just cannot believe how many people are here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The coronavirus, and I just cannot believe how many people are here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. My name is Kim Wentz, and I'm one of the co-founders of Informed Parents of Washington. And we'd like to kick our protest on Senate Bill 5395 off with singing of our national anthem. And we have the wonderful Carrie French here to lead us in that. So, Carrie, take it away.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming as the rockets swept there, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Wow. That was beautiful. All right. If you're... All right. Okay, Peggy, we're going to veer from my plan. Peggy would like us to start with the cheer that my friends over here started from out here, okay? Hey, hey, ho, ho, CSC has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, CSC has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, CSC has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, CSC has got to go. Hey, hey, thank you. CSC has got to go. All right. I want to say thank you for being here, but I also want to announce that Family Policy Institute of Washington, my family, my choice, those ladies are tirelessly here fighting many bills. United under God, trying to galvanize the Slavic community for us. Teen Aid, this lady has done a ton of research and is creating her own curriculum for you to use. Human Life of Washington, behind the scenes support that's been critical helping us organize. We also have an organizer of a sit-out for those of you who could not be here today. We do not. He wants to make sure you know he is not a fan of CSE. Also running for governor, we have Anton Sakharov. I hope I said that correctly. Thank you for being here and showing us your support as well.
I'm with the House.
This one I'm super excited to announce. Running in opposition to Chris Reichdahl, the Superintendent of Public Instruction, is my personal friend and colleague, Maya Espinoza. She's going to try and add our voice back in while working with the opposition. Maybe we can come to some kind of agreement here, but we're thankful that she's running for OSPI.
Yeah!
And finally, we have Mr. Davis. What's your first name? C. Davis. He is running for Thurston County Commissioner, so he wanted to make sure you knew he was here if you were in his area in Thurston County. So let's get down to business, all right? We are a growing coalition of parents from all across the state who are angered by the changes coming to our school sex ed courses, which will then be mandated by ESB 5395 into every neighborhood school, and that is why we are organizing. Sex ed is obviously necessary, but this isn't sex ed. It is the sexualization of education. It is a slow shift away from the biology and reproductive aspects of sex ed into what is now becoming more and more focused on sexual expression, sexual fulfillment, and pleasure, all while advocating to children that you are sexual from birth. People in favor of this agenda keep saying, read the bill. But that's not what this is. This bill is simply a government mandate to kick this door wide open. This battle has just begun. It doesn't end because a bill is defeated or a politician is replaced. It ends when these three concepts prevail: truth, transparency, and trust. Truth in a science-based curriculum, not an agenda-driven opinion. Transparency happens when parents get to see the entire curriculum rather than drag it out of the OSBI dungeon. Trust grows when parents, through their school boards, can choose from any curriculum, not just those rooted in CSE, which will be mandated on high with a totalitarian impulse that the state knows best. Truth, transparency, and trust is the motto going forward. Shouldn't it be that way for our government too? Yes! The next step is to start engaging your school boards as they select the curriculum and the lessons that will be taught to your schools to make sure you know what is being mandated to your children. IPOW is trying to help set up groups by school districts. And if this has not already been happening in your area, you can message us. But we ask that you look around to make sure a group hasn't already been established. Now we have a ton of people who want to talk to you today, so I'm in this era.
It is great to be here. What an incredible turnout. I was so glad that I was invited to be here and to speak. Not to forget the location or the successes that we may have had, but as parents, that we see what our children, the politicians want our children to be subjected to, and I'm not having any of this, and you're clearly not having any of it. Myself and the organizers were really conflicted in what to share, in the sense that we want to be unacceptable, that's right, and it is sick and it is perverted. What else do you call someone if not a pervert and a sicko who tells these same 7th graders, right, 12-year-olds we're talking about, that anal sex between classmates is a bonding experience? No! What else do you call someone if not a pervert and a sicko who insists that the school's internet firewall designed to protect kids from inappropriate behavior and content be disabled so that 10th graders can browse adult websites during class to learn about fisting? For discretion advised. Yet because the perverts and sickos have presented this material under the banner of comprehensive sex education and packaged their legislation around the idiotic progressive. You know, let's say this wasn't the legislature. Let's say this was outside of politics. And outside of politics, there was this man, hypothetically named Jay Ensley. And let's say this man, hypothetically named Jay Ensley, decided he was going to go onto his computer at night and strike up an online conversation with the 10-year-old in a chat room. And let's say during this online chat with the 10-year-old, hypothetical Jay Ensley started typing passages from the book It's Perfectly Normal, which is recommended reading under this legislation. And let's say hypothetical Jay Ensley decided to quote to this 10-year-old the following passage from the book. Having sex can involve the penis and the vagina, or the mouth and the genitals, or the penis and the anus. And let's say hypothetical Jay Ensley ended this online chat by inviting the boy to meet him at the governor's mansion after after school so that he can give the youngster illustrations directly from the book on how to perform these sexual acts. Now, yeah, you know who would be meeting hypothetical Jay Ensley after school? No, it wouldn't be this 10-year-old boy. It would be Chris Hansen and his film crew with To Catch a Predator. Have a seat, Jay Ensley. Why do you want to talk about anal sex with this 10-year-old? And then, hypothetical Jay Ensley would be promptly arrested for sex crimes against a minor. But what would be considered sexual grooming in any other context is now deemed not only permissible, but educational, because it is in service to a radical progressive agenda. In a statement, that's right, in a statement that would make even Orwell blush, Democrat State Senator Claire Wilson said that her sex ed bill will improve the safety of children statewide. Improve! But you don't need, that's right, perverts and sickos, but you don't need sex ed curricula starting in kindergarten, going all the way through high school to delineate between appropriate and inappropriate touching. You don't need all of K through 12 to educate children about sexual harassments or about the basics of sex and reproduction. These topics can easily be discussed in a lesson or two at an age-appropriate time. The reason why progressives in Olympia seek sex education starting at such a young age is because they are not interested in education. Their aim is indoctrination. Public schools are used by progressives as a vehicle to impose their value system on our kids despite our objections. Officials at the superintendent's office are not neutral players guided by evidence and facts as they claim. Instead, they are partisan activists who ascribe to progressive orthodoxy with religious fervor and faith. They have a pre-commitment to a leftist worldview. And let's take Chris Reichdahl. I'm glad we have someone running against him. Let's take him as an example. This guy is the superintendent of public schools, right? He was asked point blank on a radio show, the Dory Monson show, recently, if a boy can become pregnant. He refused to answer.
Coward.
He refused to answer.
Coward.
To be clear, the perv genius running our public schools declined to comment on if a boy could ever become pregnant. Why couldn't he state the obvious? Because his party consists of science deniers and flat earthers, where biology now takes a backseat to a person's feelings. For instance, the 3 R's curriculum, which Reichdahl approved, laments that kindergarten teachers, quote, must refer to girls and boys and male and female when identifying body parts. But not to worry, because, quote, lessons in higher grades use more precise language and begin to introduce a broader concept of gender. By first grade, perv genius Chris Reichdahl wants toddlers reading My Princess Boy, further with class discussions on the differences between someone with a vulva and a girl. Because, according to these science deniers, flat earthers, you can be a girl and not have a vulva. Just like you can be a man and apparently menstruate. Yeah, I know. What is wrong with these nuts? Someone needs to just get them in the corner and say, you're being a lunatic. Do you hear yourself speak? But probably the worst part of this bill is the complete disregard for parental rights. According to Chris Reichdahl's own numbers, nearly 60% of parents in the survey oppose this so-called comprehensive sex education. As the hundreds of parents, many of whom are here, flocked to the hearings, demonstrated. But the desire of parents was usurped because, at the end of the day, progressives in Olympia are unhinged. They think that they can raise your children better than you can. Rather than ask parents to opt in to their worldview involving sexuality and gender, they want you to opt out. But see, that relationship is backwards. We don't serve them. They serve us. And what these elitists and sickos and perverts forget is that there's an election just around the corner. And when you blatantly disregard the will of voters, well, the voter has a tendency to clap back. And get ready for a resounding clap, one that's going to inform every parent of Jay Inslee and his party's attempt to usurp parental rights, brainwash our children with dangerous ideology, rob them of their innocence, all under the deceptive banner of comprehensive sex education. Our fight, folks, has just begun.
Are they taking this inside? Are they taking this inside?
Are they taking it inside? Yeah, I don't know if they're taking it inside. Я пойду его обниму.
Ну як, стоїмо, відстоїмо, так? Будемо боротися. Будемо боротися. Але послідниця є за Богом.
So everybody here needs to encourage everybody to go up and tell him to veto this. Tell him, God spoke to him again.
You testified against this bill. I've been here 30 years, longer than any member. I am a Democrat. I am the only Democrat out of 130. I do not know what is wrong with the Democrats. What are they thinking? Parental rights matter. Thank you again. Thank you again.
Senate Republican leader Mark Chesler from the 9th Legislative District. I couldn't be any prouder of my team that every single one of them voted with the parents and grandparents of this state. Thank you.
Senator Judy Warnick, 13th Legislative District. I'm from Moses Lake, and we stand with you. We voted no to this bill.
Senator Jim Honeyford from the 15th Legislative District, rural Yakima County, and I'm proud to say we stood with you and we voted no.
I'm Ron Mazzal. I'm from the 10th Legislative District. Some of you know me as the Happy Farmer. On the farmer, we know the difference between procreation, recreation, and love. I voted with the parents.
My name is Senator Steve O'Ban from the 28th Legislative District. And I stand with all of you in opposition to this. What is age appropriate? Who best will decide that issue? Come on, you took the words right out of my mouth. Parents.
Everybody, I'm Doug Erickson, the State Senator for Whatcom County in the 42nd Legislative District. Thank you for being here. I just want to say
fight for your kids. That's what it's all about. It's about your children, the innocence of children, letting them grow up in Washington State in a way that's appropriate for you and your family, not for the people behind you on the second floor up there in those office buildings. Do what's right in Whatcom County, by the way. It's the capital of homeschooling in Washington State. So they might get a lot more customers if this keeps going on like this.
So the peril of going first is we didn't get to say, we stand with parents.
Let's have Governor Ensley hear that chant right now. We stand with parents. 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 Thank you.
All right, next in line, we'd like to hand the microphone over to all of those courageous members of the House. Could you believe the testimonies that we heard when they tried to defend us at the hearings? My goodness, with the limited tools they have, they were incredible, so we want them to be recognized. So come on up, please, our members of the House.
Good afternoon. The Constitution was made for days like this, I tell you what. So, my name is State Representative Chris Corey. I'm in the 14th Legislative District, Yakima, Klickitat, Skamania, and I am so proud of you guys for being here. And I'm going to give one quick shout out to a special mama bear out there. My wife is here today because she knows that it's our job to parent our children, not the government. So thank you for being here. And this fight does not stop today. We've got a long road ahead of us, so get ready.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, I'm Jim Walsh from the 19th of the Bless you all for being here, but remember, today is just the start. Today is the beginning of a battle that's going to take us through the summer and the fall and to this November. Don't stop. Don't give up. Keep organizing. Keep talking to your families. Keep talking to your neighbors. And make sure that people with common sense and dignity and the love of their families and local communities turn out this November. We can't stand still anymore. We will overturn this. We will restore practical, good government to Olympia here. I promise you, we will. Keep it going.
I'm Matt Shea from the 4th District in Spokane Valley. Привет, стою, братья и сестры! Христос воскрес! Христос воскрес! Hello, brothers and sisters, and that was Christ is risen. He is risen indeed. Our Judeo-Christian values are worth fighting for, aren't they? Like many of my colleagues, we fought all night long, and we would have continued fighting into the rising sun for our children. And I want to say one thing about the Gladiator. There's a great scene in there where he says, shields together, fight as one. 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 We will keep doing this. We will keep fighting for our kids because it's the next generation that will also live free, not just us. If Stalin wouldn't even have done comprehensive sex education, the Democrats shouldn't either. God bless you guys.
Well, good afternoon. I'm Vicki Kraft, State Representative in the 17th Legislative District. God bless you all for being here.
We have fought hard. We have fought since last year. I actually did an unprecedented move going to the Senate last year to testify against this. And I'll tell you, our senators stood strong opposing this. The House Republican members have stood strong opposing this bill for you, for your children, for your families. I'll tell you what, as we have uncovered more and more and more about what this bill opens the door to and what the curriculum really is that has been consented to by OSPI and obviously by many of these Democrats, all but one, we have found out the truth. And the truth is on our side. And we will fight so that the truth will prevail, and you and your children and your families, we will prevail. There are more of us than there are of them all across this state. So stand strong, keep fighting, keep making your voices heard. I would even encourage you to make a stop right over to the governor's office right after this. So with that, God bless you all. We will keep fighting to the very end for you and your families. Stand strong.
Thank you all for being here today. My name is Carolyn Eslick. I'm from the 39th district. That's counties of Snohomish, Sedro-Woolley, and a little bit of King. Woo! Hey, how many of you here were very uncomfortable with the first speech that was brought to you? If you were uncomfortable, imagine what our children are going to be. Oh my gosh. So we absolutely have to get rid of that curriculum. Please, if nothing else happens today, you make sure you go to your local school board and get rid of that curriculum. We cannot have it. So please, you absolutely run for school board, get involved, and talk to your neighbors. We've got to get more of us down here. We've got to become the majority so this stuff doesn't happen. Thank you for being here. I appreciate every one of you. Bye.
Thank you. I'm Robert J. Sutherland from the 39th Legislative District. How you guys doing today? I want to hear from you guys in the back too. How are you guys doing today? We heard how some of our representatives voted no for this bill. I want to tell you, I didn't vote no. I voted hell no. These are our kids. Get your hands off our kids. We'll raise them. We'll decide what's good for our kids, not you politicians in there. The bill is on Jay Inslee's desk right now. What do we want him to do? Veto! What do we want him to do? Veto! 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 Who's in charge of our kids? Thank you guys for showing up. Without you, we can't do anything. We're outnumbered. We lose the votes every time. But with you guys here, we can send shivers down their spine because they're spineless. They want our kids, and they're not going to get our kids. They got to come through you and me to get our kids. We will fight. 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 I got to hit with a crowd like this. I have to hear it. USA. Yeah. USA. 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 Thank you guys for showing up today. We can't do it without you. God bless you. God bless America.
Hey, I'm Representative Jesse Young from the 26th District. God bless every one of you. Listen, I have a simple question. If they think they're so right, why wouldn't they debate us? Over 200 amendments on this bill, and the Speaker arbitrarily took down 85% of them. Shame on them. Make no mistake, when you see the arguments that come out and try to gaslight us to say that it's an opt-out, you don't have to have your kids. Why isn't it an opt-in? If you're so righteous, why won't you debate your points? Because they're wrong, and they want our kids, and we will fight. I don't know if there's any more chance to say after Robert got you all going down, but make no mistake, This needs to be the November ballot initiative. Yes. We need to kill this. Yes. They need to see in Seattle definitively once and for all that parents will finally stand up and kick this crap to the curb. Yes. No more. Let's go with it. No more. No more. No more. God bless every single one of you. Stand up for this fight. Parents have a right to teach their kids.
Thanks, Greg. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm State Representative Kelly Chambers. I represent the 25th Legislative District in Puyallup in Pierce County. Thank you for being here. I know you feel like you were not heard this session, but I see you. Thank you for being here. Bring some more people. Tell somebody. We have to grow this movement and let other people know what is being done to the children in Washington State. You have a right to parent your children and control the information that they're exposed to. That's why you don't send them particular movies or let them play certain games or see violent things or exposed to certain language. You get to parent your children. I'm sorry that you were not heard here this year, but we see you, and this movement is going forward. So thank you for being here and fighting for our kids.
And I'm Lou Hampton-Wervin, State Representative from Whatcom County. Thank you for being here. I am a very angry mom and a very angry grandma. So what the Democrats in here have done to our families is so wrong. And your signs say it all. I wish you were down here to see it. It's like, too much, too soon. No means no. Veto school porn. Protect kids. Let kids be kids. These signs are so important, and your being here is so important. I want you to know we are not done. We are going to fight this, and as soon as our governor signs that bill, we're going to be right. He will. But we have a plan in action, and we're going to hit the pavement, and we're going to fight. Fight him out! 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 Absolutely! Fight him out! 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 Good job! Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
I hold 3 documents in my hand right here. The Washington State Constitution, the U.S. Constitution, and God's Holy Bible. Not one of these documents says the raising of your children is the responsibility of the state. Every one of these documents says your children belong to you. Thank you for standing up and fighting for your children, fighting for your families. God bless you. God bless your families. God bless America!
Hi, I know that nobody knows me here except my poor fiance. So, anyway, what I want to tell you, every single one of you, or pretty much everybody here has, if you're an adult, you have a phone. I want you to get on that phone right now. I want you to get on that phone, and I want you to email Governor Inslee. I want you to tell him what you think about this bill. Every single one of you right now. Pull out your phones. I've already emailed him. So get on your phones and stay late all afternoon if it takes it to go by his office and tell him exactly what we think.
All right, thank you. Well, once again, we want to thank all our representatives and senators for taking the time to come down here today. We also have we have a few more speakers that would like the opportunity to address you. They have been shoulder to shoulder the entire time this session has been going through, so we want to have them recognized. First up, I'd like to introduce Mark Malosha from the Family Policy Institute of Washington.
Thank you all for coming here today. This fight is not just against the governor. We want him to veto the bill, but he's not. But This is a fight against evil, against powers and principalities not of this world. They're coming after our children, and they're using our schools to come after our children and our churches. It's time for all Christians and social conservatives, people of all faiths, to revolt against this evil that's coming after our children. I want you to not just stop after this battle, but this is a long-term fight. Will you be part of this fight against evil? Yes! Will you fight next November? Yes! If you do.
We actually went out and purchased the curriculum. And as we looked at it, we realized that if people knew what was inside, that they would be outraged. And they were. But you know what they always tell us? What do they tell us about CSC? It's age appropriate and it's medically accurate. Well, no, it's not. No matter how many times they say it, it is not. Not only that, it doesn't give kids complete and accurate information. I mean, would you, for example, want your teen daughter dating a boy who's been told that the withdrawal method is free, always available, and works better than... Anyway, what we did, wrote a letter to the editor. We had a community meeting, let people know what was going on. And within 2 weeks, from going to that first meeting where there was about a dozen of us against it, to 2 weeks later at the second reading, we actually had almost 250 people show up.
And I found out at the prayer meeting on Friday, I was told that JT is part of the people that are moving Christians or Mormons. And that's why I asked him.
Wonderful, you knew. That's why I handed it right over.
Maybe a school board 101. Training the leaders in this group so that we can get organized.
I saw you earlier.
It's not true. Aaron's Law was passed last year by the Washington legislature. It addresses child sexual abuse prevention in Washington state schools. It's even on the OSPI website about what they're doing on that. The state is already working on a program to prevent child abuse. At this House hearing, 3 courageous teen women spoke up. One was called on at the hearing, the other 2 weren't, but we heard them at the debrief meeting afterwards. They had CSE in 6th grade, and it led to them being sexually harassed by boys joking about the sexual topics that have been taught. Boys even started grabbing girls inappropriately in school. One of the girls said, "Feeling violated is the new norm. Sexual harassment is a new norm. Lack of respect is a new norm. Graphic details, pornographic images, and inappropriate assignments have become part of everyday life. Boys make lewd and demeaning comments and treat it as if it's no big deal. It's only homework, right? I'm so proud of those 3 girls that came and spoke. It is so hard as a teen girl to come speak at a hearing on sex ed. And it is not what we want for our girls or our boys. We demand the right to have a say in the education of our children, not having it forced on us, on our schools, and on our children. Don't tell us that this curriculum only teaches about healthy relationships and protecting children. We can clearly see from the curriculum OSPI has already approved that it's not true. Governor Inslee, veto this bill.
Thank you so much. Our families have come here to escape government overreach and authoritarian laws. And we thank you. We thank you for being here. We have a representative. He just wants to announce his name is Kyle, who would like to speak to you.
Guys, how many Slavic people here? Can you guys raise your hand? Can you guys give a big shout out? Thank you all guys for coming. You really encourage us.
Спасибо, что вы здесь, вы нас поддержали.
We're here today not only for ourselves.
Мы здесь не ради себя.
We're for our future, for our kids and for our country.
Мы за будущее наших детей и нашей страны.
Guys, this country, United States of America,
эта страна, Америка,
gave us a lot of good things in our life.
Она много сделала для нас.
It's time to pay back.
Время отплатить добром.
Guys, don't be silent.
Не молчите, друзья.
I will encourage you, please get involved in the political life of state of Washington.
Пожалуйста, включайтесь в предвыборные кампании.
That's the way how we can change everything in here.
Только так мы можем поменять процессы.
Guys, don't be discouraged. If we lost the battle, it doesn't mean we lost the war.
Знаете, если мы потеряем эту битву, это не значит, что мы проиграли всю войну.
We know who won the war for us. It's Jesus Christ.
Мы знаем, что Иисус, Он уже победил.
Guys, thank you all for coming. God bless you and God bless America.
Спасибо. Благослови вас Бог. Благослови Господь Америку.
Thank you very much. All right, we have one more speaker. She's my good friend and another co-founder of iPow, Whitney Holtz. Here she comes. Come on, Whitney. All right, she's boxed in. Stand by.
I just want a quick show of hands. For how many of you is this the first issue that has brought you down to Olympia? No. Mine too. Little confession, I haven't been down here since probably my 8th grade field trip. But this year alone, this marks my 8th time since January 13th being down in Olympia. That's how much this issue means to me, and I know it means that much to you.
Yeah.
And they know it too because they got your thousands of emails and phone calls over this sex ed bill, so thank you for that. They got that. But we're not here today just to protest 5395 or whatever bill number Olympia wants to hide this agenda behind. We are here in opposition of the sexual education method known as CSE, or Comprehensive Sexual Education. Yes! Don't let their addition of the word health fool you. What Olympia voted to mandate is CSE, and CSE is not sex ed, it is sexuality education. OSPI didn't invent it, so they don't get to redefine it. International Planned Parenthood Federation states in their framework for CSE that our approach includes an emphasis on sexual expression, sexual fulfillment, and sexual pleasure. This represents a shift away from methods that focus exclusively on the reproductive aspects of adolescent sexuality. This approach is evidenced by the explicit and pornographic material that we have all seen in the curriculums that OSPI has already reviewed and approved for use in schools. And I'll tell you what, if I hear Chris Rakedahl say one more time that this is age appropriate, I'm gonna scream.
Do it! Scream!
This material more closely resembles a grooming textbook for predators. And Detective Fiona with the Crime Stoppers Sex Trafficking Division agreed when he read it. In no way, shape, or form does CSE belong in public education. Despite all of the public outcry, they pushed it through, and I was here in Olympia that night. They passed the bill out of the House. I sat in that gallery and listened as amendment after amendment was rejected. I listened as they rejected a move to second an amendment which would have required any lesson on pornography to include its potential risks, including addiction, disassociation, and the objectification and normalization of violence towards women. I guess Me Too isn't that important when you want to pass a bill. And sure, schools can write their own curriculums if they can afford the hundreds of thousands of dollars one district estimated it would cost them, but it still has to be CSE compliant and approved by OSPI. At that cost, many districts will just have to pick one of these prefabricated curriculums that we have all come to know and hate.
We need Maya!
Earlier this year, OSPI asked the people if we wanted CSE in schools, and out of 10,000 respondents to their survey, 58% of those said no. And I am sure that number is much higher now that we have actually seen for ourselves what is in this.
No, JT is not here. Isn't that interesting? I have not seen him anywhere.
It is imperative that those who claim to want to teach affirmative consent actually follow the rules of the policies they want to enforce and accept the loud no they receive from Washington state citizens on this issue. So
we will fight! 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 We will fight!
this is my #1 voting issue come November, and I'm sure it is for you too. So Governor Inslee, hear us now. No to comprehensive sex ed. Veto the bill.
Veto the bill! 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 Veto the bill!
Well, I think you probably understand why now the iPow Facebook page has been rocking it. Can you believe what this girl is doing? I'm so proud to be your friend. All right, we have a couple of more representatives from the House who we've used their sound bites to clobber the other side. We'd like to give them a second to address you as well. Come on up.
Okay. Go, Michelle! Thank you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Representative Michelle Caldier.
26.
And let me tell you, I have been fighting this for the last couple months, actually last year too. And one of the most difficult things that I found was that Planned Parenthood, who they have been pushing this legislation, and when I read the curriculum for the 3 R's, it has in there that if your child is pregnant, if your child has got concerns about STDs, or if they need birth control, do you know where it directs you to go? Planned Parenthood.
Oh,
that is a huge conflict
of interest.
Yeah. Okay. And so here's the thing, is that you guys need to continue to fight. You guys are doing such a great job. Keep your voices up. We are listening. We are listening, okay? And vote. We need to make sure that the governor listens too. Amen. Okay? And so we have to go up and vote, but I'm going to pass the baton on to Representative Jenny Graham.
Thank you, Michelle. Hi, I'm Jenny Graham from Spokane 6th District.
Woo!
And I want to thank all of you for making time to be here today to fight this very important issue. I've known about this for quite some time. I'm not sure if anybody has heard of Teen Aid.
Yes.
You're right. So Teen Aid has done a really good job of educating people just like me about this legislation. And one of the things, there's so many of you that are here that this is absolutely wonderful, because one of the most heartbreaking things that I'm seeing right now as I look at social media are the people that are saying that there's other people that they're talking to or they know that are saying that this is fake, or that they don't believe this, or that the government would not do this to our families and our children. So I'm asking, I'm pleading that if you have the opportunity to talk to your friends, to go to your schools, to go on social media, we need to bring more people into the circle to send that message that these are our children.
That's right.
Not the government's children.
That's right.
Our children. And we will raise them how we see fit.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jenny. My name's Alex Ibarra, and I'm from Quincy, Washington, District 13. And I've already voted no on this bill, and I think the rest of these two folks have voted no as well. So we did what we could at that time, but now you guys are here to make sure that the governor does not sign that bill. So we're happy with that. When I was on the floor talking about this particular bill, talked about my daughter. I had a daughter who my wife and I at the time brought up, taught her the values that we felt were the values that she grew up with. Taught her everything that she needed to know to be a grown-up, to have the right. Everybody for coming. I've got a special guest, Maya Espinosa. She's running for OSPI. And she thinks the way we think. So.
Olga Proshenko. She just recently launched a webpage. We'd like to have you take a look at it. It's United Nation Under God, which is the letter U-N-U-G God. I'm sorry, UNUGod.org, okay?
Большое спасибо всем, кто здесь находится. Здесь мы открыли веб-сайт для всех единственных, в которую мы все вместе соединимся. Она называется United Nation Under God.org. UNUGod.org. Запишитесь в ней все, и для детей, и для взрослых, под номером 1, 2 и больше. Будем контактировать все вместе там. Thank you.
All right, have I missed anyone else, Peggy? All right, did you still want to read the letter? Okay, so here's what's going to happen here as we wrap this up. We have crafted a letter that we're going to take to Governor Inslee's office. You may see people holding white flowers. We thought there was going to be maybe 50 to 100 people here, so we're a little short on the flowers, okay? But here's what we're going to do. Once Peggy reads the letter that we're going to take to Governor Inslee, we also have a basket of our favorite required reading for him to peruse in his free time, because we're not fans. And then we're going to peacefully and not mob-like or threatening in any way walk into the building behind you. We're going to go to his office, and if you have a white flower, we're going to have you drop it in a basket there while we present the books. And since we don't have enough, if you have a green ribbon, you can throw that in there too. We would just like him to get an idea of how many people showed up today to oppose this bill. Again, we thought there'd be like 50 people here, and look around, and that doesn't even count hundreds of people who are doing sit-outs across the state to oppose this bill. So keep in mind, there's a lot of people opposing this, and we need to keep the pressure on, even if the bill passes. So I'd like to introduce Peggy O'Bannon, who's going to read the letter. We're going to deliver to Jay Inslee following once we wrap this up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's a lot of people here. Yeah.
Okay, wait, I'm sorry, we have one guest speaker who just popped out of the blue. We'd like to introduce Ash.
Ну що скажеш?
Все добре, багато
Все добре.
прийшло.
Да.
Дуже раді, американці шокіровані.
Ну да.
Ще тільки початок.
Ну вона веб-сайт, вона говорила, щоб заходити.
Далі будемо
Самые большие новости славянского дистрикта.
Couple comments. Couple comments.
No, that's true actually. They have his own website.
Our kids are future.
Okay.
Star is born, don't you think? Alright, so what I wanted to do was just read the letter that your signatures are basically signatories on this letter. And after we're done, I'm going to park the crowd and we're going to follow those of us up here into the governor's office. Someone needs to tell me, do I turn left or right? I forgot. And daisies signify childhood, innocence. That's why we're bringing our daisies. And then we have, as Kim said, a couple of choice books that are recommended by the curricula that undermine childhood so profoundly. We're giving those as a special gift to this governor as well. It removes any meaningful control, local control, because only curricula approved by OSPI are considered compliant with OSPI standards.
Video, yeah.
You're a celebrity.
Yes, video.
Actually teaches. It does not say if you were opting out of individual lessons or the entire program, you cannot opt out of guest speakers, and it does not address the difficulties of parents who do not speak English. Additionally, vague languages in these rooms for OSPI state goals have seen dropped out. And this is according to Lori Bills, the top officer are
What's that? Yeah.
this section in charge of bringing to schools. Constituents vote no, veto, ESSB.
О!
The reason we're getting so much pushback is because those awful conservative Christians got involved in our school boards. So get involved in the school boards. Thank you. That's great advice.
And also, if you have one of our email sheets, we kind of need them back so we can communicate with you. So bring them down to the podium. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Все, розходимося.
Привет,
Is he married up? Yeah, I married from his sister. All right. That's right. That's his wife. She's running
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Dawn Lamb. Yeah, she's around here somewhere.
Not on my car. Here's my driver.
Oh, okay. Well, someone's gonna have to
We'll find someone. Yeah, we'll find someone.
I'm just parked in 5 minutes.
If you're a registered voter in Washington, that is what has to be signed. We need to have
А ви розписувались?
На ото.
Так?
На ото. Ще позаписувалися тут. Ми там стояли.
А де розписувались? Все.
Віра, надія і любов. Та любов, вона сьогодні прикликала весь народ, щоб весь народ, всі діти Ісуса Христа, вони хочуть Господа славити під іменем Ісуса Христа. Ми благаємо, Господь, Ти сьогодні бачив кожну душу, кожне серце, брата і сестра, і дітей, всі вони перед Тобою, перед іменем Твоїм. І сьогодні власті народа свого, вони хочуть свою победу, но победа наша в Господі. Ми проти всього того, що не дозволяє нам релігія, Слово Боже, Біблія, що проти Біблії і ми проти. Ми як діти Ісуса Христа, ми хочемо бути служителями Господа, ми всі хочемо бути в царстві Ісуса Христа.
you.